Anita, how's your mental health?
Questionable at all times. You know this.
Yeah, how's the mental health of your children?
Also a little bit tricky. Can I tell you my experience in trying to find therapists for myself and my kids, Mel?
Yes, please.
Okay, this is how it goes. You ask around your friends and your family for a referral for somebody who's nearby. You finally find somebody who sounds like they might work for your family. You give them a call and you find out that A, they're not accepting new patients, or B, they have a huge wait list. So you start over again and you ask people if they know anybody who would be a good therapist and a good fit. Finally, you find one, you go and you meet with them and you figure out that you don't actually like them that much. But it's been so much work to find somebody who you can go to in your area that you're kind of stuck with them. Well, do you have any ideas for how to get around this?
I do, because guess what? I've actually had some therapists that I have found on my own, which involves what you're saying. Sometimes, I remember one time I was like 3 hours in the bathtub on my phone looking through websites. I was such a prune at the end. But I have also had the experience with working with BetterHelp. And it was like, I don't want to say too good to be true, but because it is true, but it's like amazing because I was matched with my therapist within 24 hours.
And you didn't have to go through all of that other ridiculous process of trying to find somebody. And here's the cool thing too, is if that person didn't work out for you, you can just switch and say, and it's not like you're committing to another years long search for somebody who you're going to jive with.
It's true. And I lucked out, or maybe just BetterHelp is really good at matching people together because I never had to change my therapist. I loved her. Perfect fit for me. And I know that some of our friends have used BetterHelp and they've had to change therapists, and boom, same day, you can change.
Easy peasy.
You can ghost your therapist. Get a new one.
I love this idea. BetterHelp is one of our sponsors. If you use our promo code trybetterhelp.com/WWDN, you get 10% off your first month. And we totally recommend it.
Yes. Get some therapy. That's trybetterhelp.com/WWDN. And guess what? We can be as loud as we want because nobody's sleeping.
Nobody's home.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yay!
Welcome to our podcast.
Welcome.
I'm Anita.
I'm Mel.
Hey.
Sup?
You know.
The usual, just dealing with death and things. Widow shenanigans.
Shenanigans. We did not make a podcast last week.
Nope.
We intended to.
We sure did.
What happened?
Thanksgiving. Holidays. And we're going to tell you a little bit about it. But first, welcome to our podcast,
where we try to figure out
what we do now. Okay, let's talk about freaking Thanksgiving. Actually, my Thanksgiving was okay.
The actual
it was like after
holiday itself was okay.
Yeah, because I've learned just to keep myself in a controlled environment. So I actually had an okay time.
Like a hermetically sealed environment. You did Thanksgiving at your house?
Mm-hmm.
With lots of people?
Not very many people, which was also helpful.
Okay, so a few people.
It was like low stakes. We have a guest in our
premises
pod basement.
Yeah, it's a dog.
His name's Finn.
Looking right at me.
Yep.
He wonders what we're doing.
Anita hates dogs, and I brought my dog.
I don't hate dogs.
Well, let's talk about your Thanksgiving, because you were not okay.
I was not okay. So this is all my firsts. So I didn't really know what to expect. And I expected it to be hard, but it was harder than I thought it was going to be.
So tell us a play-by-play.
So, woke up in the morning. Went to the bathroom. Do you want that detailed or maybe not quite so detailed?
I mean, I do, but I don't think like our friends that are in, is it called Islington, Great Britain?
What?
We have some people from England listening. I hope. Maybe they won't listen after this because I think our Indian listeners stopped. Indian listeners stopped after we mentioned them.
What about Bosnia and Herzegovina? We still got those guys going on.
Maybe.
Okay. So Thanksgiving in the morning, I always run the 10K. We live in Utah and it was snowing like cray here.
It was wet snow too.
It was
really thick.
It was wet. It was good for making
There goes Finn.
There goes Finn.
Sorry, everyone, for the dog noise. I can't do much to edit that out.
Maybe you won't even notice.
Maybe.
So in the morning, I always run a 10K, and it was really snowy, but that wasn't going to stop me. And actually, that was a good part of the day. Even though most people would think that would be a terrible part of the day, that was fun. I came home with like 6 inches of snow on my hat and didn't win a pie, but maybe won a pie, but didn't get a pie.
What? Why?
Because I either took 15th place or 4th place or 1st place. But it was mayhem and pandemonium, so I don't even know.
I'm even more confused.
Because some people showed up that were signed up for the 10K and then were like, screw this, and ran the 5K. So their time for a 10K was really fast.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
they beat me, but they didn't really beat me.
So you won.
But I don't know.
You did. Let's be honest. You win everything.
No, I don't win anything.
You went to Hawaii because you won.
Because I won. Yeah. Anyway, that was cool. And then I came home and we got ready to go to... I watched the dog show.
Yes.
Yes, for a little while. And
the bulldog won.
I know. I feel like the bulldog always wins.
No, they don't ever win.
What? Are you serious?
Finn, can you just lay down? Yeah, poodles and stuff win.
He is like biting my carpet. There's something on there to eat.
So I brought my other dog over one time and he started cleaning Anita's floor with his tongue. And so we were hoping my other dog, Finn, will do the same thing. And now it looks like he just wants to eat the carpet.
But it's probably because there's
like
food on the carpet.
Chocolate on the carpet. Hey, you don't eat that, Finn. Come here.
That is so funny.
Did you see the golden retriever named Daniel?
I didn't remember his name was Daniel, but I did. And there was another dog with a human name that I thought was so funny, like Blaine or Kevin.
Probably. I can't remember that one.
I liked those ones. I wanted the sheepdog to win.
They are so fluffy.
He's so fluffy.
My favorite part of the sheepdog commentary was they asked the groomer, or not the groomer, they asked the handler how much time he spends, how many hours a day or minutes a day he spends grooming. And he said, all of them.
Oh, man. See?
I know. I couldn't do it, but I would love to have one.
A sheepdog?
If I didn't have to groom it, I would just shave it.
That was Finn.
Paul McCartney had a sheepdog, by the way, named Martha, and he wrote a song about it called Martha, My Dear.
Was it about a sheepdog?
Yeah, his Old English sheepdog.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Did you know that?
No.
Well, you know the Beatles, and you know that song.
I know the Beatles.
Do you know that song?
I didn't. No, I don't think I do. Do I?
Which would be so.
Which album is it on?
The White Album.
Okay, the White Album.
I love the White Album.
Do you?
It's so weird and cool.
I know, it's super weird. I'm trying to remember any songs that I know on the White Album.
Oh man, Blackbird,
Okay.
Obladi Oblada.
Yeah.
This is important, everybody, just so you know.
This is more important than the podcast.
Okay, so let's get back to Thanksgiving.
Okay.
You watched the dog show.
Watched the dog show, got some pies cooked. That was my job this year, and I like cooking pies. So that was fun. That was good. And then it was time to go to actual Thanksgiving dinner. And that is like actual Thanksgiving, I feel like. Like all of the rest of the stuff you can kind of pretend like it's a different day. Does that make sense?
But not the dinner.
But not the dinner, because that's like actually when Thanksgiving is. So when we were getting ready to go, I felt this like huge sense of panic. Like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Like, let's just pause. Let's just freeze. Let's just not go. Let's not do this day. I don't want to go. And just like, But we went, obviously, and I felt like this.
Like a zombie?
Let's just not continue forward, because then I won't have to face it and deal with it. But we went, and when we got there, I just feel this like weird sense of, I don't even know how to explain it, but like if this is my normal level up here, I just feel like I'm down here. I just feel very blah. So then we got there.
It's called depression.
I know, but it's, I don't know. It could, because it's not like, doesn't stay for long periods. So anyway.
Also depression.
Dang it. Okay. Apparently I am feeling depression. And then we got there and we started to eat, and I just started to cry.
During The dinner.
During the dinner, but I didn't cry too much. But then my 6-year-old says, "Are you crying?" And I was like, "Yeah." "Why are you crying?"
Oh.
And I was like, "I feel really sad." And he was like, "Why?" So then I was like, "What's wrong with you, child?" But not really. Then I just had to go blow my nose, and then I was okay.
At least you didn't blow your nose onto your food, and you just had tears going onto your food, because that could be just a salt substitute.
It was like a salt. Yeah, it was salty, and it made the dinner delicious.
It's like, instead of turning lemons into lemonade, you turn tears into seasonings. Gross.
I seasoned my turkey with tears. It wasn't quite that bad. And then just for the rest of the weekend, because my kids were home the whole time, that's really bad for my emotions when they're around me all the time. That's bad. It's kind of
Orphanage.
Oh,
Hashtag orphanage dreams.
I don't even know. I feel really conflicted about that. I have a lot of conflicted feelings. The good thing is that while I was in this depressed state, I had some clarity of how I needed to do things differently with my kids.
Ooh, explain.
Specifically around bedtime. So my sister-in-law has been coming over on school nights to help me get the kids ready for bed. And it takes forever. And my kids are masters of making it take a really long time. And it's like the worst part of the day for me. But I had like this clarity because since it wasn't a school night, I did bedtime by myself for like almost the whole week. And I was like, this isn't working. This is not how this can happen anymore. So I was like, we've got to do bedtime different, and I'm going to have to be meaner about it, and we're going to have to change some things. And I felt really good about that decision because I decided I needed to make some changes to bedtime, and that's probably a good thing, and hopefully it will be a good thing. So that was good.
So basically, the entire day of Thanksgiving minus the race was super hard.
Yeah.
But you had some good things come from it, like your clarity for bedtime.
Yeah, maybe not just from Thanksgiving itself, but from the whole weekend.
Would you like to hear about my weekend?
I would.
Thanksgiving was fine, like I said earlier. The next day, I started going through Scott's boxes that are in our garage.
Why did you feel like, what prompted you to do that?
I have to clear it out because my dad has another storage unit that he wants to empty out, and he needs to put the boxes in there so he can save some money. So it's time. But it's also some of my stuff too. So it was actually okay because I don't care about like things and objects. Mm-hmm. So I just got myself in a mindset of purging and went in for like an hour and just like did a bunch of stuff. And then we went to take the stuff to the trash cans and then got some soda. My friend helped me and it was actually okay.
Good.
I would say that I got a good 6 hours worth of work over the whole entire day.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was fine. I just got in my non-emotional state. Mm-hmm. Just kind of got it done. But I think the next day was really hard. And I don't think it had anything specifically to do with that. I think it's just like at times things compound. Like holidays and doing stuff. And then you're tired. And then who knows what. It's snowing. And then Anita and I were texting. I hate everything. And we were like that for a week. And now we're finally recording again. So it just was hard. But I did have a meltdown on Sunday after Thanksgiving. And I play piano occasionally at a church in Salt Lake that has a band. It's the best and super fun. And I love all the people there. And we had a rehearsal before the service on Sunday morning.
I'm just laughing because
What's
Finn...
he eating?
I don't know.
Oh, well.
There's like stuff to eat apparently on
He's like a maid. A dog maid.
This is making me feel like, what are you even finding? Do I want to know?
They are it's crazy what they find. So I had a meltdown. We had the rehearsal before the service, mm-hmm. and I think just a ton of stuff hit me, and I had a panic attack, and so I texted Suzanne, the person in charge. I love her. Hi, Suzanne. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Can I bring my dog in for the rehearsal? because I'm not okay. And she was so great about it and helped me through it. And then like talked to me after the rehearsal. And I just like sobbed and sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. And she was so great and helped me through that.
I'm so happy to hear that. Is that weird? That I cried in
sobbed?
public?
I know. That's how you know it's super bad.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah. But then Monday came, and I actually really love when there are not holidays because I like normalcy, and
I really like when there are not holidays.
I do. I've been this way since my grandma died in like 2005.
Sometimes we assume that unless we had a huge life insurance payout, we don't really need to know anything about investments or even finances. But guess what? A little knowledge of finances is critical for all of us. Maybe your partner was in charge of that stuff, and now you find yourself making all the decisions. Maybe you're mad about that. Maybe I am. Nicole from the He's Gone But the Money's Not podcast is here to help. She tackles financial literacy by telling the stories of women and widows and finance experts, and shares the lessons they've learned as certified financial planners. Whether you know a lot and feel confident in your financial decisions or feel unsure about all of that stuff, there is more to learn. Listen and subscribe to the He's Gone But the Money's Not podcast on all podcast platforms. This ad was paid for by Rockhouse Financial, an SEC registered investment advisor. You've been a bah humbug ever since then.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm fine now. But
I was so excited for my kids to go back to school. I was like, thank you. Please leave me alone.
Anita and I had a great outing the other day, too. I had to go to the dentist to get my crowns on from this grief nonsense and like deal with whatever that
doesn't
nonsense
sound
was.
like a great time.
No, but they numbed my face. And after I just wanted to go buy mascarpone cheese.
But she couldn't say it.
No, I realized
her face was numb, so she was like, I need to go buy more. And nobody could tell what she was asking for, and so they just sent her home from the grocery store empty-handed.
Yeah, try to say mascarpone when your face isn't moving.
None of that was true, by the way, except for she did want mascarpone.
I did, and I could not say the word. But Anita and I went later and got it and had a cheese adventure, cheese adventure, and soda adventure.
I got the yummiest cheese. I love it so much.
What kind is it again?
It's goat cheese, which you don't like, but I love. But it's grapefruit and fig. It's so delicious.
Wow.
The other thing that happened over the weekend that was really hard was putting up the Christmas tree. Sent me into a state of duress. And now it's okay. Like the Christmas tree is okay. And I'm glad that we put it up because it feels like Christmas and it's good. It was just hard to actually do it. Like rip the Band-Aid off, but now it's okay.
Do you think we should get into our topic now?
Yeah, well, I think it's ironic. It was super ironic because last week when we were trying to decide if we could muster up getting together and to talk about our topic, the topic that we had chosen was super funny because it was
coping strategies.
And we were not coping at the time, so we had to cancel.
Our coping strategy was to not do anything.
So we're going to talk about some of our coping strategies.
Last weekend, our coping strategy was to not do anything and to just take our time feeling how we felt.
My coping strategy was to eat cookies in the shower.
Mine was to drink soda in the tub. I think I text you from the tub a lot.
Yeah.
You probably told me that while I was
I've
in the tub.
texted you from the shower too. It's not a good thing for the phone, but that is actually one of the things that I do a lot more that I didn't used to do.
Shower.
Yeah. And like this is maybe too much information, but like I'll get in the shower and then I'll be done and then I'll just like sit on the shower floor until there's no more hot water. Sorry, environment. Anyway,
I would do that anyway without a dead husband.
Oh, see, I didn't really ever do that unless I was
showers,
like,
though.
Really?
I love baths, and now I take 3 baths a day at times.
Yeah.
It helps me feel better when I'm sad or sick or cold or bored.
I do like to get in the bathtub every so often, but I would rather just get in the shower and be there for a long time. So that is one of my coping strategies for reals.
The shower.
Yeah. And yes, I have eaten in the shower and cookies are hard to eat in the shower, but popsicles, Those are fun to
Easy.
eat in the shower.
I used to eat nachos in the tub all the time. And when Scott first died, I was just in the tub constantly.
You were like a pruny
Yeah.
Mel all the time.
Yeah. And my mom would bring me food and I couldn't make food decisions because I didn't care. And also just because my brain was so broken. I'm like, I can't even choose if you give me choices. So she'd bring me just stuff. Here you go.
Now I really
Eat
want
this.
some. Now I really want some nachos, though.
I love tub nachos.
Tub nachos. I think that's a very strange thing. So
Try it.
I'm going to. I think that when you're talking about coping strategies, like a big one that we have a difference between us about is drugs.
Yes.
So I thought we'd talk about drugs first. You
Okay.
cool with that?
Yeah. I love drugs.
So when Jason first died and I went to the doctor because I wasn't sleeping at all and I asked them for some sleeping medication, the doctor also said, I'm going to give you some antidepressants and you should take them. And I was like, okay, I don't know what is going on in my life. So I brought home the antidepressants and I took them for a few days and I could not stay awake. So I stopped taking them and I haven't taken them ever since. But I have taken drugs to help me to sleep every once in a while. But you did something else to find antidepressants.
Pharmacogenetic testing.
What?
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Did I explain this ever before?
Sort of. I mean,
Okay. Pharmacogenetic testing, and we've referenced this on earlier episodes.
we have?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I thought you said that we had.
No, we haven't talked about it on this. You just talked to me about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Pharmacogenetic testing is DNA testing to find out what drugs your body can metabolize the easiest. Now, it's not just for anti-anxiety or anti-depression. It's also for anti-seizure medication, anti-inflammatories, like pain meds, all sorts of things.
Who does this testing?
I found a place in Orem, Utah called Bristol Health. I don't know where you can find it in other areas of the country or world, but pharmacogenetic testing, pharmaco like with a PH. So it's really cool. They make it so it's affordable for you to do. It was like $150, which is not a big deal. And
Is it like a blood test?
it's a swab.
Oh.
Yeah. But I got the printout. It's super cool. It tells me which drugs I'm able to process and which ones. So they have columns, like a green column, yellow, and red. And it just tells you which ones work best for you.
And did you, because before you did that, hadn't you tried a few different ones?
Yeah. And this was all before Scott died because this was from my car accident stuff. So I would like to preface this with saying I actually do not love medication. However, with trying exercise and oils and yoga and eating better and all of the things.
I thought you were going to say yogurt.
Yogurt as well. Trying every single thing and having some of them work to a point, but then having my car accident stuff happen where I had a traumatic brain injury and, you know, just life changes and whatever. The medication really did help me. So I would like to say that I always like to try everything else first to see if I can get my body naturally to be where it needs to be. And then last resort for myself is medication. So anyway, it was interesting because I had been on medication before, on like Prozac, some stuff like that, just for seasonal depression over the years. And I never was on it for too long, but it worked for what I needed it to work for. But it was not working when I had the car accident. Finn is crunching away on a bone back there. Whatever. We're nightmares.
He's not licking my floor anymore.
I know.
Carpet.
When I got my printout from the testing, it showed me a couple drugs that were going to work really well with my body's chemistry, apparently. And none of them were the ones that you see on the commercials, like Prozac, Zoloft, all those ones that are kind of common. I didn't even recognize the names of the ones that were on the top of the list.
Is it because it comes from like Serbia?
I don't know. Or maybe because the makers of the drug don't have as much money or don't push it as much.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
know.
We
I don't
could get
know how
into
it works.
that. Yeah.
Yes, Miss Doctor Medical Person over here. So I tried the first one on the list and I was so lucky because it worked immediately. So I think that the origins of this test were for HIV testing to help save lives. So like instead of wasting a lot of time to see which medications would work and then the person could potentially die in that trial period, it's like, how can we minimize that guesswork? So I was so lucky because the first one that I tried worked for me on that list. And what it did is it helped my brain to organize stuff a little bit better. I felt like I had energy so I could get up, and then of course you get used to the medication, and then I had to continually go up because who knows why, what. So yeah, I have been taking an antidepressant. I don't take any other drugs other than that unless I have like a migraine rescue drug. And because my car accident gave me anxiety, I had, what is it? A benzo.
Oh, yeah.
Now, benzos, because I already had those when Scott died, I was taking one pretty frequently to sleep. Oh, and I have to say it was the best thing that I did because it helped manage my anxiety. It helped me to sleep. So I don't take them very much because they make me kind of funny the next day, but I do take them when I have a bad panic attack.
If you need them.
Like when Jason died and I didn't know you, but for some reason I did. Canceled everything. I took that drug. I was out the rest of the day and it helped me. If I can tell that I can't get my body back to a normal state by itself, then I have to take that. And then it helps me. So,
one of my suggestions for people, like any of the people that I have met who've lost a husband or a person after Jason, I'm like, the first thing you need to do is go get some sleeping pills. Like that, I just feel should be required for anybody because when you don't sleep, it's really hard. And so sleeping pills, I'm a big fan of those.
I took Z-Quil. My friend Sarah she had her baby die. I think I told people this and that helped, but go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, those drugs like that make me have crazy psychotic dreams. Just like the over-the-counter like Sudafeds or like NyQuils. Crazy dreams.
Melatonin does that to me.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so those ones, but my doctor just gave me Xanax, and that's enough just to make me go to sleep. And I don't have to take them very often anymore. In the beginning, I did because I didn't sleep at all. I just laid there and thought about things. But my doctor was like, I can't give you anything like Ambien because you need to be able to wake up in the night because you have kids. And Ambien, like you won't wake up for anything. So
Can I tell a story about Ambien?
Yes, you may.
I was on a gig one time and one of the people in the band showed up to the gig, and it was an early gig and it was out of town, and the person looked super bad and sleep deprived, and I was like, hey, are you okay? What's wrong? And for that particular gig, the band had to share rooms with other bandmates. Well, I guess the person that he shared with was on Ambien, and my friend goes, I was sharing with this person, and this person takes Ambien, and he woke up in the middle of the night and peed in my suitcase over my clothes. So I have been up washing my clothes in the bathtub since 4 a.m. And I felt bad, but I didn't because I couldn't stop laughing because, like, come on, that's the best story ever.
That is.
And the worst.
Really crazy. I wonder how he felt when he woke up and the guy was like, I'm so mad at you. You peed in my suitcase.
I don't know if the guy ever became coherent.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm sure he did, but.
That is hilarious.
So, sidebar, sorry.
So, no Ambien for me.
No.
Because, anyway. So, that's just like a drugs.
Drugs. I don't know
what to say about that.
Moving on.
Something interesting, though, still on drugs, is that when I was trying to decide if I was going to try a different antidepressant or if I was just going to try and go without one of those, I was talking to my sister-in-law about it. And she was helping me because just like before, I was like, I don't know what this is. And you're like, that's depression. And I'm like, no, it's not. Anyway, she was like, depression doesn't always just mean you're sad either. She was like, it exhibits itself as irritability and inability to like think. And so anyway, there are other reasons than just being really sad. And irritability is totally me. When I'm feeling it, when I'm like in the cave, I'm super mean. Like, I'm so irritable.
On Thanksgiving, you were telling me you were mean.
I was mean. I was like, I hate all of you. Why are these shoes on the floor? And they're like, we're children. And I'm like, I'm going to throw all your shoes in the trash and make you walk to school in the snow with no shoes, and you'll have bloody feet. And they're like,
please, where's the orphanage now?
no, they're like, Mom's broken. We need a new one.
Oh.
Anyway, it's terrible because then I feel so guilty because I'm so mean to them, but also it's hard because kids are hard in general, and when your brain is not where it needs to be, it's even harder. Anyway, so every once in a while I think about maybe I do need to try antidepressants, but then I don't want to either because it's like such a commitment.
It is. I actually wish that my body was not broken at the time Scott died, because exercise is such a big help.
Yes. Speaking
and you can
of
do
which,
that.
Yes. So I would say if I was listing coping strategies, exercise is on the very, 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 very top of that. So for me, I can feel a huge difference if I don't get to swim or bike or run during the day. Like generally, I don't do anything on Sundays, and Sundays are always the hardest day for me because my kids are with me all day and I don't get the nice brain chemicals from exercising. So, it's kind of an interesting thing because I often need help for me to be able to get something done like that, and it's hard sometimes to ask people to do that because it seems like it's kind of a selfish activity, but really it's like, for me, it's the same thing as taking a pill.
So that's self-care.
That's how I have to think about it. It's like medicine for me. It's not something that I'm doing so that I can be skinny or beautiful or things like that. It's so that I can survive
and not kill people,
really. Mm-hmm.
So in the past, have you felt guilty about self-care before all this stuff?
No,
I haven't either. Scott, actually, this is kind of rude. Sorry, Scott. Not sorry. Dead. Yeah. He's dead. Whatever. Because I've had to do self-care stuff for years and years because I have high stress and there's all sorts of things.
You're a musician.
I'm a musician, so there's just a whole lot that goes
crazy.
With that. Crazy
in the first place.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And so I got in the habit of doing that. And I think he got mad because he's like, you self-care all the time. Da, 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 da. I'm like, if I didn't do this, you would probably be murdered by now. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
So that was hard to have kind of guilt placed on me from the person in my house. But I don't regret it. Self-care is great. It's like the thing when you get in an airplane and they're announcing this stuff and they say, put the mask on yourself before you help your child. Yeah. I think it's just always better to make sure that you're responsible for yourself. You're the only one that's responsible for you. Make sure you're okay so that you can be the best for others.
So I feel guilty about self-care now, though.
Because I said that?
No, not because you said that, but because before I felt like Jason was my partner. And so I could be like, I need this, and he would be understanding of that and he would take up the slack. But now when I need to ask other people who aren't Jason to help support me in something, it makes me feel very vulnerable, and it makes me feel very, what's the right word?
Needy?
Yeah, but when I have to tell somebody what I need, then they get to know, and they might be judging, like, why would she need that? You know what I'm saying? That kind of a thing. So it's a lot different for me now than it was before. Before it was a little bit easier because I would just be like, Jason, like, I need to go for a run. And he'd be like, you do need to go for a run because you're mean right now. And so I would go for a run, and he was just really understanding of that. But now that I have to get outside people to help me, it's harder for me. Yes, Mel.
Anita, I have a question.
What's your question, Mel?
So I know that, I don't have kids, but I also, sometimes when I feel bad, I just wish that I could have extra help just in anything. And so you do have kids, and what can you explain a little bit about what it's like to feel like you need the help and maybe sometimes expect help, but then feel guilty about it. But then there is no other person on the planet that has the responsibility to your kids and you that Jason did, because he was your person and he's their dad.
This is like,
it's very complex.
What you just explained was like the feeling that I feel all the time. And it's like being in the basement of a giant building and then it collapsing on top of you. It feels so suffocating to know that they're your responsibility and you need to take care of them, and they have all of these needs, and being a parent in normal circumstances is hard, and now you're on your own and you need help from people, but also understanding that other people have their own deals going on, so they're responsible to their kids and not to my kids. And so when I ask for help for them, they're going above and beyond. It's like bonus for them. So it's an oppressive feeling. I would describe it as that, like feeling beholden to people, because they're not my person. They're not Jason, it was his kids. It wasn't like I was like, hey, can you watch this random lady's kids, or even friends, or even extended family members? It's still not the same thing. So
you're a really self-sufficient person.
Ish.
I am too. Well, let's talk about before all this happened.
Oh, okay.
Before all of our lives exploded, we were really self-sufficient, I would say.
Yeah.
From what I gather from talking to you. And I know that I was just like, I felt like I had to be responsible for myself for everything, even when I was married. And it's been super hard for me to have to ask for help. Has that been hard for you?
Yes.
What is it like for you?
I just get so nervous about people not judging me. That's not the right word, but kind of judging me, like determining if what I'm asking for is really necessary or not. And before this, I wouldn't say that I was self-sufficient, but Jason and I together, I felt like we're able to take care of most things. I still needed some help before with my kids, like when I was working. So that was, my neighbors would probably be like, you've never been self-sufficient, Anita. You're always like, hey, can somebody watch my kids? Anyway, it's just got a different tone. But people have been so incredibly nice to me. I can't even tell you the nice things that people have done for me in watching my kids. But I always get nervous about when that's going to end, when they're going to be like, okay, it's been long enough. You should be taking care of your own kids now.
Do you feel like that's kind of how you're feeling right now? Almost a year out, but not quite.
It hasn't happened yet. People are still more than willing to help me. I just worry about it. Like inside their heads, if they're like rolling their eyes when I'm like, hey, can you cause I've gone out of town a few times and my neighbors will each take one of my kids. And they're so good about it. And I'm like, at some point in time, they're going to roll their eyes at that and be like, no, like how many trips does one lady need to go on type of a deal. So that's kind of her. So
we sidetracked a little bit, but
that's okay.
That's important.
You want to talk about therapy?
Yeah, I love EMDR therapy.
Me too. What does it stand for?
Eye movement desensitization.
Rolex.
Reintegration?
I don't know what it stands for.
Rabbit meat.
No, that would be RM.
Eye movement desensitization.
Regimen?
Ringo. Star.
EMDR. Reprocessing.
Reprocessing, everybody.
Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. If you're not familiar with EMDR, it's basically you go and they make your brain scrambled and then your brain starts working again.
Yep.
Through eye movement. And it's so bizarre and I cannot explain it, but it is actually very, very, very helpful.
And we have an announcement that on an upcoming episode, we have an EMDR therapist that is our special guest. So stay tuned for that sometime.
So when you do EMDR, they have you look back and forth quickly, or any other activity that causes rapid activation of one side of your brain and then the other side. So sometimes it can be like through hand buzzers or
tapping of one leg and then the other leg.
Or noises like beeps from one ear to the other ear.
So something that engages each hemisphere of the brain.
Alternating rapidly is what needs to happen. So I've been doing EMDR. I found it to be really helpful. I know lots of people who have done EMDR who have found it to be helpful, including you.
Yes, ma'am.
And then also not EMDR, but just talking really helps when you've got somebody to talk to who does not have any skin in the game, so to speak.
I would say for my therapy sessions, a significantly higher percentage of those is just talking and getting stuff out. And it was much less doing the actual EMDR, because the EMDR is really powerful. So you can actually get through a lot even in just one session if you do that. But there's so much happening.
It's also tiring.
Yeah, it's exhausting. EMDR. Did you know that you should not take a benzo before or after that for like 3 days?
I did not know that.
Because it affects the same part of the brain.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. My therapist told me that.
Huh. No.
So therapy is good.
Yeah, all my kids are going to therapy. I spend pretty much my whole life at the therapy office, and so that's interesting. But that's another thing that do for coping. But all of these things are like official things that probably everybody knows about. But
you know what they don't know about?
Yeah.
And you knew about it and I didn't. And now I know about it.
Is
buying succulents. Anita has given me her addiction.
So whenever I'm feeling sad, I like to go buy succulents. And it's because they're just so bizarre and weird looking. And I just like to go and look at them and then buy them. And I have been doing that. And I have spent a lot of money on succulents. And I got Mel to start doing it too.
I know. And I really like the pots they come in.
Yeah.
And another thing, this actually is one of my coping strategies, in addition to now the succulents, is organizing my own personal space and making my environment how I want it to be. And so that's been really helpful for me to have some little fun moments in my space. And I can pick pots that I feel like are going to go along with whatever my decor is, and it looks organized, and poor Finn wants to go outside, but you can't yet. Sorry. So it's so fun because it accomplishes two things for me.
When Mel said that one of her coping strategies was like cleaning and organizing, I was like, come to my house. And she said, no.
Nope.
So rude.
I am not a good cleaner or organizer, but it's forced me, this grief business has forced me to do that, because when all things are going crazy in my life, that's what I can control. And if I'm doing super bad and it takes me a long time to get out of bed and I'm just like, I need a mental cleanup, I'll just even do something like, if the pillows are kind of ski-wampus on the couch, I'll just do that. And that helps me either get in the continuous zone of cleaning or does enough that I can do my next thing.
So on the flip side of that, something that I've noticed that kind of it like makes sense all of a sudden. I'm like, oh, that makes total sense. It affects me when my house is a disaster. I'm much more likely to have bad times and be sad when my house is a disaster. And I'm not all the way in control of that because I have kids. But when my house is really cluttery and messy, it's way harder to manage my mental health.
I think that is so important. I mean, even before Scott died, I noticed that when I would have to do orchestrations or arrangements or something where I needed like brain capacity, I needed time, and I also needed to be creative. And that's so hard. Like, be creative on a deadline. And I noticed that the more crazy my environment was, the less that I could get done, or the harder it was for me to pull through it. And when I organize stuff, which is not natural for me, I mean, come on, I'm a musician.
I'm a chaotic lady.
I'm the worst. When I had an environment that was clean and organized, it helped me and my workflow. So just even if you don't have a dead husband, there you go. But I also feel dumb that I'm 37 and that I just figured out this and that I've just started doing it. And you've been through a remodel, as have I.
Yeah.
Chaos, but then how has the product of that helped you?
It's not all the way done is the problem. And I can't make myself take the next step because I don't want to go back to chaos. but I need to.
So maybe I'll ask you this in a year.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next coping strategy.
So one thing that really has been helpful for me is to have a goal or to have something to look forward to. So the race that I did was pretty much the only thing that was keeping me focused and able to keep moving forward, because there was something that I needed to do every day in order to reach that goal. So now I'm at a point where I don't have a goal and it's kind of messing with me a little bit. And so I need to find another goal.
Yeah. And it's a lot of firsts are happening with no goal.
Yeah.
And especially the 1 year is coming up.
Yes.
And it's winter.
Yes.
It's gray and gross.
Yes. And I'm terrified.
Okay. Make a goal. Report back to us on the next episode.
Yeah, the thing is that the goal can't just be manufactured. It has to be something that you actually really want to do. So I'm trying to find what my goal is. But on that same vein, having something to look forward to is also, I would say, really important. Like something that's going to happen in the next month or so that you're looking forward to keep you just okay, I guess. So I'm trying to figure stuff like that out too. Something that I can plan on doing that's not too far in the future, but you can look forward to happening. Like one thing that I'm looking forward to is next week my TV show is coming out.
Which TV show? The one that you're on?
Yes. So the Xterra people came and like videoed me to make a TV show. And it's coming out on December 11th.
Oh my gosh. We'll have to share it.
Yeah.
Is it on the internet or is it
It's on Outside
Netflix?
TV, which I don't have access to. It's a cable channel. So I have to figure out how I can watch it.
A screen recording program.
I don't even know what that means.
I have it. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. Anyway, because I don't have Outside TV.
I don't either.
So
I only have Inside TVs.
I know. I only have Netflix. That's also one of my coping strategies.
Yep.
Is to watch every single show on Netflix that they've made.
I watch Schitt's Creek over and over and over and over because it always makes me feel happy.
It's funny.
And calm. Yeah. I got Disney Plus. Are you going to get Disney Plus?
Oh, yeah. I just haven't yet because I just haven't. But I have all of the other ones. Hulu.
There's a package with Hulu.
I know. That's why you got to get it. Amazon Prime. Netflix.
YouTube.
YouTube. Everybody's got YouTube. Anyway.
Okay.
So those are two things so a goal.
Goals are good.
And something to look forward to, and Netflix.
I have one that's sort of on these lines, but not. Dogs for me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I had a pug that was 14 when Scott died, and I knew that she wasn't going to live much longer. And I also had told Scott that I wanted a Vizsla because our friend in Pennsylvania had one, and I thought it was the best dog ever, and I wanted it to go running with. So that was a conversation before he died, and I just also thought this pug that I had that's old is going to die, and I'm not going to be okay, especially like with a dead husband and then a dead dog that's been with me through my divorce and through all of my horrible things. So 3 weeks after Scott died, I got my Vizsla, and a Vizsla is a Hungarian pointing breed. They are ginger, and they are known to be Velcro dogs. Velcro dogs, because they stick to you. So if you don't like to be touched, do not get a Vizsla.
Whenever you say Vizsla, I feel like you have a speech impediment.
Really?
Yeah, just because you say Vizsla. And I know it's because it's like German.
Vizsla?
Yeah, like
it's spelled Vizsla. Vizsla.
Okay.
Anyway.
I just think it's funny when you say it. That's all. I'm just making fun of you and your speech impediment.
Shocker. So because they are a pointing breed, they can have a tendency to be higher energy because that's what they do. They're athletic dogs. They need to be taken outside. They need to
point.
They're an active breed. And so I had my pug that was not an active breed. She would have laid with me for like 1 million hours. And she did. So I thought I need to have this dog, first of all, puppy and a higher energy breed because it will force me to get out of bed. It will force me to train it. It will force me to do all these things that I naturally don't want to do. And I think my family at first, like, didn't react well to it. They thought, why are you doing this? You're crazy. You're not making good decisions. And now they've seen that it's like 100% hands down the best thing that's saved my life, literally, because there have been times where I've been in like passively suicidal ideation modes. And I'm like, even if I think about it and I'm somewhere like hiking and there's maybe some dangerous spots nearby, the dog goes crazy. So this dog can sense when I'm not okay. And so that's one of my coping strategies is my dog, because I have to feed it. There are times when I can't feed myself and I don't care. I still don't really care. But I know I love my dog so much and I have to feed him. And then I got a second dog so that he could have a friend.
Because your pug died.
Because then my pug died, of course. 6 months and 1 day after Scott died.
What was your pug's name?
Lily.
Lily.
I loved her. So I have to feed my dogs. I have enjoyed actually making their own food for them, which sounds crazy. And I don't care what anyone thinks, because guess what? I got out of bed that day.
I'm pulling a face.
She is. And I take them to training, and I love training. And because they are really naturally athletic, they do great at agility courses. So we've been in agility training, and it's opened me up to another world that I didn't know about. Some dog people are super crazy and horrible human beings.
Oh.
And a lot of dog people are the most amazing human beings, just like normal human beings. So it's been fun and interesting. And I've gone to check out some dog shows. I haven't entered any, but checked those things out and met some really great people. And it's helped me to have something that's not music.
You just basically want to live Best in Show.
Yep.
In real life.
And guys,
that's what you want.
I'm just here to tell you, if you've seen Best in Show, it's just like a real dog show. All those things are normal.
Is there a guy with 2 left feet?
Maybe. Maybe like in Indiana or something.
Oh my gosh. What's Scotty's name? The full name that you posted the other day.
Yeah. So Scotty is my Vizsla, and he has like 12 names. I don't know. I think it's like, I let the nieces and nephews pick some names and just throw them in there. It's like Scotimus Prime, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bob, Fritz, Montgomery. No, Shore Montgomery.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Is
And
that
then,
like on his papers?
No.
Oh.
He is not a show dog that will compete in conformation.
Oh.
And he, so he's not fully registered. He's just limited registration. And I got him after basically the entire litter was sold. But Finn is a show dog.
Oh, I see. He's a show dog.
Yeah. I learned about Finn's breed from Best in Show, and that's why I wanted one. And now I have a Weimaraner. And
he needs a busy bee.
He needs a busy bee. And he's, oh my gosh. Yeah. So, yeah, he has a whole fancy name, a registered name. And
oh, what's his registered name?
It's like Silver Bay and Pearl Essence Amazing Tricks. It's really long because it was the name of the 2 kennels.
That's a terrible name.
I know, I hate it. So I call him Finn.
Yeah, okay. I like that better.
Okay, that was really long.
Finn's not even a name. Is that what he said?
My dad doesn't think Finn is a name.
Can I tell you something funny?
Yes, go.
I don't know if I've told you this before, but all of our kids' names are also the names of people's dogs in the neighborhood.
Really?
Yes.
That's funny.
It is funny. I'm always like, why did we name our kids dog names? So the last thing that I thought of is something that I think we both do also.
What?
Writing.
Yes.
And sharing.
Yes.
Yeah, I find that to be very helpful to write stuff down and to try and express my feelings and try and nail them down. Because I don't know, like when I talk about them, I feel like I can't get them right.
There's something that helps when you physically put a pencil down. Or I don't know if you do it on a laptop. I have to hold the pencil and paper and do it.
I can't do it that way because I need to be able to backspace and change it 1,000 times because I don't feel like I can get it.
I just scribble.
No, I get done and I'm like, that didn't make any sense. So I have to do it. Like, I just do it on my phone. But I Instagram a lot of stuff. Probably too much stuff.
Your Instagram is fun. I like that you approach it like a researcher.
I know. I started doing that because before summer started, I was honestly terrified. I didn't know how I was going to spend the whole summer with my kids. And so on day 2, when we had to go get stitches, I was like, are you kidding me? And so I started writing it as if like I was researching a new tribe or something, and like took myself out of the emotional role. Like I'm a completely non-involved, non-emotional outsider, and that's still how I write about my kids. It's
I
kind
think
of
it's
funny.
so great because it doesn't seem like you're wallowing,
Oh, I wallow.
even though maybe you are, but like because you're presenting it non-emotionally,
Yeah.
it's so great. I love it.
Yeah, except for sometimes I don't. Like last weekend, I wrote about how I was really feeling sad, and I'm sick of feeling sad. I don't like this.
No offense, but it's like not going to go away yet.
Dang you.
Should I tell you that it does though? Does that help you?
No, because I know it's not going to go away all the way.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It's such a bummer.
Yeah, I'm honestly like, what am I going to do for Christmas? How is this going to...
Cancel Christmas.
I can't.
Yeah.
For so many reasons.
Orphanage.
Orphanage. Hashtag orphanage. Yeah, no, I mean, for me too, I don't want to cancel Christmas, but I just thought I think it's going to be harder than I was anticipating, and I'm scared about it. After Thanksgiving, I was like, oh, crap.
Watch like your anticipation be so bad for Christmas, and then it comes and you're like, oh.
That's what I was hoping Thanksgiving was going to be, though. I was like, well, I'm hoping it's going to be the anticipation is worse than the actual event, but that was not the case this time. The event was way worse than the anticipation.
It sucks so bad.
Yeah, I just don't know.
Back to the writing thing.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, when I started my blog, I didn't do it with the intention to help myself. And I think some people thought that that's what I was doing, and I wasn't. And so it was funny because I would get comments like, oh, I love that you're doing this. This is such good therapy for you. I'm like, no. Like, I don't care. I just want everybody to know here's what's happening, because all these things are so new to me that I had no idea. And so I just want to share it. So maybe it helps somebody else. So I really appreciate when whatever we do helps someone else, which is why we started the podcast as well. We're not doing this like for ourselves selfishly. Well, maybe Anita is because she gets free cheese out of it. But I mean, of course it's going to help us, but like anything we can do that's going to help others, like that's the goal. So starting my blog, my Unicorn Window blog, and then this has been really helpful because I know it's going to help people, and anything that's just going to be a resource that we didn't have will be great.
It's a 2-for-1 though, because you're trying to help somebody else, but it helps you. Because that's how I feel about my writing. I actually do it for myself, but I also keep doing it because other people say it's helpful. Like I've had several times where I'm like, I should not be putting this out to the world. This is too much information. My kids are in it, but I have a lot of people reach out and say like, oh, it's so helpful. And so I keep doing it for that reason, but it is helpful for me too.
Yeah.
So
it is a 2-for-1.
It's a 2-for-1.
One thing I do, if my head feels like it's so cluttered that it's stuck, I do have like a paper notebook that I write and physically write in, because that helps my brain kind of get back on track. Yeah. And I'm not consistent with it. I just write with it when I'm just really not okay. And for like the first year, I found it the other day and I was reading through, and every single one was just like, this sucks so bad. Scott's dead and I'm so sad and I don't know where I fit. It was like the same grievances for like the entire time.
Over.
And I haven't written in it for a while because I've been better at managing and coping and everything. But
another reason that I like to write too, though, is just for that reason, because I think that at some point in time, either me or my kids will want to look back and be like, what happened? Like, how did we survive? What day-to-day type things. And so that's been another reason that I've tried to kind of document a little bit. In the summer I did it every day, but now it's not as often, only when I have something to say, but just so I can look back at some point in time, or that my kids can look back and be like, dude, look at what we went through.
Remember when it was that bad and now we're okay? We're
still here and mom is still eating cookies in the shower, but
it's fine. Nobody died except dad.
It's fine. Okay, I just thought of it's not buy one, get one free. It's die one, get one free.
Stop.
I'm fired.
You are funny. And also, this is random. But not, because we talked about when I went through my garage. Scott has so much baking stuff.
I know.
So much. And so I'm like, first of all, laughing at him because I'm like, does really one person need 43 mixing bowls? No. But also, when I told Anita, she's like, of course. You need like 45 mixing bowls.
Yes. I was like, does he have any measuring cups? I need some more measuring cups.
Yeah.
Does he have a 9-inch springform pan?
Of course he does. He has like, aren't there multiple sizes?
Yeah, that's why I need a 9-inch.
He has like so many of them.
Yeah. So she was like, she was being all aggrieved at his collection. And I was like, Mel, absolutely.
You're like, duh.
There is nothing wrong with all of that stuff.
Scott and Anita are baking soulmates. I know this. And they would have hung out, and I would have hung out with Jason, and we would have eaten pickles together.
And talked about Sasquatch.
I found my Sasquatch belt buckle the other day.
What?
Do you want it?
Yes.
I'll give it to you.
Okay, I'm taking all of Mel's old stuff and also the 9-inch springform pen.
Yes. It was so funny because Scott kept collecting kitchen tools. He worked at Williams-Sonoma at one point in his life.
What?
Only to get the discount so he could get stuff. Like when we got married, we were registered there, of course. So we have a lot of like high quality things. But
I need to come look through your boxes, apparently.
You totally can. If you
How
want.
many spatulas does he have?
Are you kidding? Do you think I really counted? I just was like, there's a box full of spatulas. Like, there's probably 500.
Okay.
So, but it was funny because when we were married, I didn't know he was not an organized person. I just thought, I'm such a nightmare. He's going to be better than me. Oh, no. He was worse than me.
Oh, no.
And he kept bringing home kitchen tools. And I'm like, Scott, you've got to organize these things. Like, you said you wanted to set up your kitchen, how you wanted to have it. And he never did. And then he died and whatever. But I'm like, does somebody really need an avocado pitter and a strawberry plucker outer of the green top
Huller.
thing?
It's called a huller.
That he kept bringing stuff home, and I had to finally forbid him from buying any more kitchen stuff. It didn't work, but we have so much kitchen stuff.
So right before Jason died, every year before Christmas, there was a pilgrimage to Smith and Edwards, which is like the weirdest store. And he would just buy weird stuff for me. And so the last thing that he bought for me was a kiwi peeler slicer contraption. And in my head I was like, this is like dumb, I don't need this. But now I can't get rid of it because I'm like, this is the last thing he ever gave me.
Yeah.
It's a kiwi peeler slicer thing that doesn't even work that well. Anyway.
Well, do you want Scott's strawberry huller? Or do you already have 4?
No, I don't. I don't like things to be, I like them to be multi-useful if I'm going to have them.
That's why it drove me crazy. I think I would be good with just like a paring knife and a normal knife, some silverware.
You need a chef's knife and a paring knife and a serrated knife.
Yeah, that's 3 knives instead of 50 knives.
Except for you might need a German chef's knife and a Japanese chef's knife.
Hankels and Ginsu or whatever.
Not Ginsu. Those are like from our youth.
Oh my gosh.
Look, I can cut this boot in half.
The infomercial.
And then I can cut this tomato. 12 payments of $29.99.
Okay. That's probably good, right?
Yeah. We're just happy that we made it back to making a podcast after having to take a week off to be
not suicidal.
Yeah. To just not be functioning. That's really where I was. And it's hard to try and be like funny when you're like, I hate everything and I don't like my life.
Yep.
Which I still feel like that, but definitely less acutely. So
yeah.
What's going on this week for you?
What is going on? I have a couple gigs.
I
think they're holiday parties. I had one last night. I bought a lot of Zevia soda, so I'm going to be drinking that a lot.
With the band?
Fun. Yeah, with my party band.
Okay.
That I'm with, my cover band, and teaching some lessons. It's kind of uneventful. It's kind of my usual. What about you?
I'm going to go to Idaho over the weekend.
Why?
My niece came home from her mission. So.
Welcome back.
Yes, Jane.
Where did she go?
Arizona.
Short flight.
And then I got to find a place to watch my TV show because I'm going to be famous next week to the 14 people who have this highly specific cable channel.
Well, Anita, I'm so glad that we got to do this again. Except for I did have a lot of fun just going to buy cheese with you. So
and we bought some succulents there too.
We did.
I bought a cool one that I'd never... Oh, I like it. It's called the Sansevieria. I looked it up.
And I got a nice little cat pot with something in it.
The Highworthia.
Yeah, that.
That's what you got.
Yep.
Okay, thanks for joining us. Hopefully we'll be back next week.
Yeah, it's
but
TBD.
No promises.
If you have questions, let us know. We have not been getting any questions, so we don't think anybody is really listening.
Except for now, I just remembered somebody asked me a question, but it's too late.
Did they write it down?
Yeah, somebody texted me a question.
What is it? Should we answer it?
No. Let's answer it next time.
Okay.
Because otherwise that will be weird.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Thanks for joining us.
As we try to figure out,
what do we do now? This is my favorite thing to discuss with you.
Tell me, what is it?
One of my favorite things. I do enjoy tacos and cheese and dogs. This is about how you cannot pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a phone plan, especially when you're a widow, your person is dead, you might have kids, you might need another option, and you just want your phone to work, you want unlimited texting and service, and you want it to be like $25 a month.
It blows my mind that they have plans that start at $15 a month. That is so cheap. And the cool thing is it uses other 5G networks, and so you don't have to pay extra for that, and you still get great service.
Yep. Anita and I have traveled all over, and I have used my phone. So I highly recommend it. And my mom's even on it. When my dad died, we put his phone down to the cheapest plan, which is $15 a month. And I think my mom's on the $20 a month plan, and it's so worth it. It's so much cheaper than what we were all paying before. So I highly recommend it if you're on a budget or not. Who cares? Ryan Reynolds is in charge of the company, and they send you free stickers with Ryan Reynolds temporary tattoos. It's kind of the best. So if somebody wants to sign up, what can they do, Anita?
Go to trymintmobile.com/WWDN. Seriously, you guys. Such a great idea. Save yourself some money.
And if you're worried about losing data or having any changes with your phone, not going to happen. They walk you through it. Everything's fine. It's the easiest process of all time. Again, that's
trymintmobile.com/WWDN.